Lads, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today, two things to cover. I just want to get into this reaction as quick as possible. One is the new microphone. You'll see it right here. It's actually the same microphone I've always been using, the one that looks like the thing from Star Wars. It's the same mic. I've just got a pop filter on it, and then I've got this thing as well. I'm pretty sure that's like all part of the same thing. Basically, it's to avoid the mad annoying pops. You know, even saying the word pop is giving me PTSD because I've just always avoided using those kind of words when I used to use this microphone without the filter. So I'm hoping the audio is a little bit better. Ideally, I would have liked to get a few more days testing the waters with it, because I did play around with the settings and I'm still not 100% on it. It will, in my opinion, be better than it has been, but there's still a few things I need to fine tune. But I suppose give me feedback on that. That'd be much appreciated. But what we're really here for is the Meshuggah reactions. So yeah, the new album Immutable is finally out. It goes without saying I've been excited about this one for a while. We've covered two of the singles that came out of the three. I decided not to do the what was the track called? I Am the Thirst, or I Am That Thirst. That is track number 10 on the album. I just decided against doing it because I just felt like the context of the singles, like I just feel like the singles out of the context of the album just doesn't really work a lot of the time with Meshuggah. I feel like the Abysmal Eye did work, but it didn't blow me away. I've gone back to that a few more times and I've definitely gotten into it a little bit more, but I haven't been overly impressed with the two singles I've heard. The Abysmal Eye, like I said, definitely trumped Light the Shortening Fuse. I wasn't that big on Light the Shortening Fuse, but again, I did mention in that video that I felt like that single, you know, did have that album feel where it was leading into something or it led from something. So looking at it here, The Broken Cog, The Abysmal Eye, and Light the Shortening Fuse are all in a row. I've not heard the first track on the album. I have heard The Abysmal Eye and then Light the Shortening Fuse. So we've heard, you know, two of the first three tracks. So that's just a warning. And then other than that, it's all new music. So guys, without any further ado, we're going to hop into it. Make sure you drop a like in this video if you haven't already. Be much appreciated, lads. I appreciate all the support, especially on the Meshuggah videos. It's been absolutely incredible. For more content, we still have a lot of albums to get to and a lot of new Meshuggah content. But other than that, this could be like the last new Meshuggah release I ever react to, because, you know, these guys are getting old. Their music is absolutely some of the most intense music you'll find out there. So it's not exactly like they have this kind of like music that they can kind of, you know, alter over time. They've stayed very loyal to the sound that they've made, and that's why they're so loved for it. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not this is their last album. My bet is that it is, so it's a bit of a special moment, lads. So yeah, let's just jump into it, lads. I'm excited. Let's go. Oh my lord. Jesus, okay. Solid start. I like that. The Abysmal Eyes. Let's go. Very solid start. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, so obviously we've heard this, goes without saying, that that intro track was, kind of thought they were just going to go for the more atmospheric intro, kind of creepy audio that we've definitely heard Catch 33-esque in there, that eerie kind of creepy sound almost before you get that breakdown, but then we just got that like wall of sound that they did implement a little bit more groove into it, which I am happy about, because obviously it goes without saying, I'm beating a dead horse at this point. Groove just gets me, and Meshuggah are the kings of that, but they can go the opposite end of the spectrum where they just hit you with like the most awkward time signatures ever, where it's so beyond even comprehending what kind of groove is supposed to be going on, so you can't even figure it out, and it kind of fucks with your head a little bit. So we did get best of both worlds. We got that eerie sound, we got that wall of sound, and we got the groove. So happy out, good intro. We'll just chill out and listen to the Abysmal Eye again, because like I said, I've already heard it a good few times. Yeah, let's go. The more I listen to this track, the more I'm just appreciating the drum work in it. It's just insane. Like, it sounds like an artillery strike. If you just really focus in on this double kick. I suppose we'll just treat this more as like a kind of recap, so I don't actually care if people are annoyed about me pausing it. Again, I've done the full reaction already, and the song's been out for ages. So just to analyze this, because I've heard it so many times, now that I'm like listening to it on a more analytical standpoint, listen to it, you know, on camera for the first time since I heard it first, this part is really hypnotic, because they kind of they get you in this kind of rhythm, and then listen how the vocals swing back in and they kind of break down again. It sounds so sick. I love this part. Now that I'm thinking about it again, you know, I know it's coming up, and I'm like, do you know what, that's actually a really cool little part, but when I'm just listening to it by myself, I don't really think of these things until I'm on camera. So you're just like, so like very hypnotizing here, like you're kind of, and you can hear the almost synthy sound in the background. It's almost like a, and then and then Jens's vocals come back in, and it just kind of snaps you out of it. You're like, right, wake up. think I'm doing a full 180 on this track, lads. This fucking... Why have I not been listening to this more often? It's just now in context, it's just so much better. And again, it just cuts out. So again, let me just, okay, I know, I'm sorry, I'm pausing. But again, this is kind of like the part where I can afford to pause it because the rest of the album is all brand new reactions. So from this point onwards, after this track, we're free sailing. So just on the Abysmal Eye there again, no matter how many times I've heard that track, the drop in it or the breakdown in it always catches me off. Because it's so hypnotic and the drop doesn't come in like a traditional sense where it kind of like builds and builds and builds and builds and then it kind of, no, you can hear it and then it drops. It kind of keeps building and building and it kind of drops almost like anticlimatically because it's not an expected drop. It's kind of like there's so much going on and it kind of drops in the background. But then I think it just becomes an experience. The more you've listened to it, man, it just gets better because then you know when it's coming. But it's still kind of fun because you still don't, because it sounds so, it's just weird. I think you guys will understand what I'm talking about. It's not like, it's somehow a build up to a breakdown, but it's also like a build up to not knowing where the breakdown is, and then it breaks. My dog's at the door.
What the dog doing?
But let's get into Light the Shortening Fuse. This was the track that I wasn't too sold on. It was alright. I just felt like the end part should have had more of a breakdown, but to be honest, this will probably be the second time I've heard of it. Heard it. Obviously I would have listened to it a few times when I was editing the reaction in the first place, but other than that I haven't really gone back to it at all. So let's give it another spin. That honestly sounds like someone down-tuned a fucking lawnmower. Now all I can imagine is someone trying to pull start a lawnmower. No comment. No comment. Absolutely no comment. Oh, I love this track. This is the teaser that they did for the this is like the first piece of content they released to do with the new album. And when the Abysmal Eye came out, I was kind of expecting this, to be honest, because obviously they didn't release the name. They just said Immutable and then, you know, put the date on when it was coming out. In that YouTube video. So I assumed that the next single naturally would be the track that they teased, which it wasn't. So I was a little bit, I think that kind of skewed my opinion of the Abysmal Eye a little bit, because I remember going into that video and not being the most impressed, but now when I listen to it back, I'm like, Jesus, that slaps. But this track was the one that I wanted to hear. So you can already hear straight, it's like that little palm muted section, the boom, ba boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom. That part just fucking sends me over the edge. Palm muting segments within a track just get me. So yeah, let's go. That part. how much that riff is 100 times better because of that. This is the fine details, and this is where they've just mastered it, man. They know how to get me. It's the smallest details, the doom, the doom, the doom, the doom, the doom, the doom, like that small bit. If that doesn't have that, it's a fairly generic riff in my opinion. Like, I've heard that riff before, but with that little small like half step on it, that's disgusting. Good with Nick Gordon here.
So here we are, staring at flash
Yes.
sky, carving our mark in servitude of the tide. We outline the weaponry of your mind, a surgical strike, nothing left to fight.
Yes! Nice.
The ghost of sacrifices made, lingering in the shadows. Corruption is the flame, so this will hurt in every way. But you will cry my, wake me to stay, and it flows through every fiber. Runs through every blade, twisted energy, freezing insanity, throwing it to lights, bruises forming the tide. Nothing left to deplete. The loop becomes complete. The void will swallow the melting stars, suspended in emptiness. Torment turns to less, a stillborn genesis.
I mean, that's gotta be one of their heaviest tracks, like tone wise, guitar tone wise. That has gotta be their heaviest track. Or up there. I mean, listen to how heavy that tone is. he sees in mirrors. This has got to be heavy, for sure. Anything with the word dog.
On the throne sits the strike, coiled and irate, self-righteous, unforgiving, lies lighting the flag of this time, with promise flies, and break the wounds that never went. From atop the glowing tower of my bones, indifferently condemning all of this realm, or dismal fate.
It gets better!
But better risk
I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know how I'm headbanging, but man, at the start I was gonna say this is like one of them spectacle songs that you see live that you just kind of sit there and go, what am I what am I looking at? And obviously I'm gonna see them live in Dublin. Well, hopefully if it goes ahead. It's just obviously so much shit with COVID. COVID's pretty much over. Touch wood, but I'm touching more wood. Don't clip that. Touching more wood just to confirm it, but like I mean, it just seems unlikely to say something conclusively is going to go ahead nowadays. But yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say is this is one of them tracks that I was going to say you just kind of sit back and don't even attempt to headbang to, because there's just so much fucking going on. It feels like it's in 4/4, but then all of a sudden it just switches one beat out and then you're like, oh, I'm absolutely lost. And then you kind of like, you're just like lost in what's going on. And then you somehow kind of find it again. And I found it after like the 1:20, like 1 minute 20 second mark, I just found myself like being hypnotized by it again. Their music is so hypnotizing. I don't know what it is. I think there must be something in the actual makeup of the music with the way in which they, you know, create the fuck. I'm lost for words here. They've sent me west. I'm gone. The structure to their music, the way they actually compose the music and put it together, there has to be something scientifically that actually goes into it that is hypnotizing, because it just keeps you like, all of a sudden I'm like, Jesus Christ, this riff is unbelievable. Like there'll be a riff that I've just heard and I've listened to it for like a few minutes and I'm like, all right. And then all of a sudden I'm like, ah! Can we just agree that this album sounds incredible? Like, it's kind of blended a lot of their like older styles together, but it just sounds so polished. Like, everything is so punchy and bassy. It sounds amazing. What the fuck? And yeah, let's not get started on Jens. Jens sounds like he's 25 years old in the prime of his life. Like, his vocals sound absolutely incredible.
Like
I do like how they're still being creative with their music this late in their career. Like, even that small part, like, I've never really heard segments of tracks from Meshuggah that they've done things like that. You know, it's not like I can recall back to an album. Again, there may have been albums that I've missed that they do have these kind of techniques or whatever, but it's almost like they went back to that twice in a row there, where it almost sounds like it's going to cut out and start off into another track, and then it's like, so I like that. I like that. Done that twice, kind of caught me off guard the second time, but yeah, interesting to see that they're still staying creative this late is the main point. Speaking of creativity and something I've never heard before, that was a bit weird. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. That one's going to be really good live if they play that. And then we have They Move Below, track number 7 of 13. And this is the longest track on the album, but it looks like it's 9.5 minutes. So, so they're... Okay. We're getting a slower intro to this track. Let's not assume what we're in for just yet, because God knows. Probably a good moment to ask you guys to drop a like on the video. It would be much appreciated. Make sure you're subbed to the channel as well. Let me know how the microphone is getting on so far. I'm hoping it doesn't sound awful. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. We'll find out. From experience, when Meshuggah do this, it means we're gonna get absolutely ripped in half. So let's wait for that moment. Oh, they have me falling asleep, bro. Okay, let's skip this a second because we're about to get slapped around here. That was, I literally stayed mute for that entire track. That was one of the most hypnotizing experiences I've had on YouTube, period. Like, forget Meshuggah, all of the tracks I've listened to over my time. That one, like, I tend to kind of zone out a bit when there's longer form tracks like that, because the tracks are long enough without me kind of pausing it. But that one just lended itself so well to just shutting off completely and just allowing it to hypnotize you. No vocals whatsoever. That was the main takeaway. Just purely instrumental, and my god, did they really play into that kind of eerie Meshuggah hypnotizing sound, man. That's just, it was so relaxing, but also I was just focusing in on how fucking disgusting the breakdowns. It was like one continuous breakdown. There wasn't like a moment where it really broke down. It was just toned down, disgusting, genty guitars for 9 minutes straight, and somehow relaxing. Like, really relaxing. I was nearly falling asleep there. Beautiful. Like, really fucking well put together track. I don't think I've heard of a Meshuggah instrumental track. Is there any of the intro tracks on Catch 33 that are just purely instrumental? Probably is, but that's the main one that I remember being 9 minutes long, where it's just purely instrumental. But if there's any other instrumental tracks, guys, do let me know in the comments. But let's bring this back and start with Kaleidoscope. Let's go. This is the 8th track on the album. I'm giving that one more spin, sorry. This is a wake-up call. This is like, right, you've just been falling asleep, been hypnotizing you. Let's wake up a little bit, okay? How did we even get into that breakdown? It just happened. It was in one riff and then we just were in a breakdown. I didn't hear it actually come through. Also, another thing I never got to mention in the last track and in this one as well is the use of that palm muted, like the little. It just sounds so fucking good, and I've actually noticed it a lot more now. And I'm sure it's in a lot of the other music, but this album in particular feels like they're using that little simple technique. It's just that little palm muted section. It just sounds fucking class. It just makes every riff sound so much juicier. Like, it just adds another element to it completely. So yeah, that's something I've noticed. But let me just play this part here. You can hear the palm muted section in this as well. The So yeah, it kind of they've done that a lot. That's again with the Abysmal Eye. They kind of like sneak breakdowns into tracks. It's not like this big obvious climactic moment. It's almost like kind of a maturity level with Meshuggah. I think I feel like they've just kind of like, okay, people are expecting breakdowns to come at the climax to this, you know, instrumental moment. Whereas I feel like they've just kind of been sneaking in breakdowns. Again, Abysmal Eye, they did that like I already referred to earlier on. And this one as well, it's almost like they're trying to catch you off guard, but it's somehow when you get used to the track, it sounds so much better when you've kind of been caught off because it's just so unique. Like, that to me doesn't, like, and not a lot of other bands do that where they sneak in breakdowns like that where you're kind of waiting for this moment and then it's already kind of, you're already in it and you're like, wait, what? And then, like, it's just, again, into that hypnotizing thing. You don't even realize it's broken down yet and you find yourself just, like, headbanging or just kind of moving along with it and you're like, wait, when does this happen? That's happened to me so many times. Like here. Like. Like, that to me sounds like it was gonna go further, like boom, this kind of like Mick Gordon doom sound, and then it would go like like that kind of way, but it's just like they do the down, and then you're just in it, like so. Jens Kidman is 55, by the way. Mentioned that in the last Meshuggah video I did, but he sounds unbelievable. Like, that. have no idea what the fuck just happened, but here's that new track. This sounds a lot like the... God, I think I am glad that I didn't listen to this, because this sounds very similar to... What is that? Is it just... I'm literally just thinking of Light the Short and Fuse. I think they just sound very similar. That's a very interesting single choice to go with as the single right before the album drops. Now, it's like Alex made the comparison earlier. Shout out Alex, obviously the plug for the Meshuggah tracks, and now I get what he's coming from. He basically said it reminded him of the way in which Gojira drops their singles. Like, the singles weren't like really that exciting, and then all of a sudden the album dropped, and a lot of the tracks on the album were actually a lot better than the singles. So I'm assuming it was intentionally done, but the full album on this has been a lot better. From what I've heard, every track that wasn't a single has been better than the singles, maybe apart from the Abysmal Eye. So Light the Shortening Fuse and I Am That Thirst being released back to back just seems a bit mad to me. Like, they both sound so similar. I feel like if they're trying to get people to be excited for the album, it probably wasn't the best way to go about it. Hence why people generally release the big tracks as singles.
They can never
wasn't sold on that track at all, to be honest. That's probably...
Shut up, bitch!
I really like that riff. Bow, but down, 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 bow, down, 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 down. Not gonna lie, I heard those vocals there and I was prepared for the worst, but we got lucky. a Meshuggah fan is exhausting. That was absolutely exhausting. I know for a fact that I really like that song, but I just couldn't figure out how to like it. I don't even know why I liked it. It was just the rhythms in that were beyond my comprehension. And we are now on to the final track of the album. Past tense. I just can't believe how talented this band is and remains to be. Like, I'm pretty sure the youngest member in the band is above 50. Like, Jens is 55 alone. But like that last track, the rhythm in that guitar play was beyond comprehension. I was just trying to figure it out. I was just sitting there and I was like, the speed at which this awkwardness is being played at is just mental. And now they're really going to put me to sleep here. I must say though, the tracks on the album, the names of the tracks, the track list is some of the best tracks names I've seen on an album. The Abysmal Eye, that's a pretty cool name. I like the Shortening Fuse, I really like that as well. Ligature Marks is sick. Armies of the Preposterous. I don't know what I Am That Thirst is supposed to mean, but I don't know if we're just gonna get like a kind of soothing outro, kind of eerie, or are we gonna get hit in the face one last time? Oh, okay. Okay, until this point I thought we were going to get hit by a breakdown, but it's a bit late to be getting hit by a breakdown, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is going to outro it. I do not think we're going to get any more. mean, that's as good as an outro for me, but unless they hit us with a breakdown in 40 seconds, I think we're pretty much done. So I'll leave that playing in the background, lads. That was Immutable by Meshuggah, their brand new album release. I'll be honest with you, I need to kind of like take a lot of that in. That was a lot. There was a lot going on in that. Like I said, I only had 2 singles going into it. Like I only heard 2 of the singles, so I was going in like completely oblivious to kind of what was going to happen. You know, The Abysmal Eye and Light the Shortening Fuse really didn't give me the best opinion of the album going in, to be honest. I was kind of like, okay, hopefully this isn't one of them where they've kind of come back to do a new album. You know, they're getting old and it's just not the same band. But that is, regardless of whether or not you like this kind of music, lads, you can't even deny how impressive that is to create music that intense, that relentless for an hour. How long is that album? Like it's over an hour, just over an hour. So to create a piece of work that intense, you know, for that period of time is impressive. Now I know they've taken some time off. Let me know what you guys think. Is this their final album? I think if they were to end it on this, there's, you know, like, what better way to end on an album like that? That was incredible. Again, I'm gonna need to kind of go back on that and listen to it a few more times to really get my full opinion on it, but just off the top of my head, it can be hard to remember which tracks kind of stood out because they all just feel like they blend into one. It didn't have that Catch 33 like concept album style where each track seamlessly blends into the other. They were actually like a combination of singles, which is, you know, almost contrary to what I was suggesting as to why I didn't listen to the singles in the first place. But The Abysmal Eye, I kind of want to go back on my initial opinion of it because that track is insane. I don't think it tops the album. It definitely doesn't top the album. There is some really good tracks in there. Now they all, like I said, got blended into one a little bit, but Ligature Marks really fucked me up. God He Sees in Mirrors also was insane. I Am That Thirst, I would say, just felt a little lackluster to me compared to some of the other tracks on the album. So I am kind of glad that I didn't listen to that, you know, as a single. I think I would have really been going into this album with a bit of a different opinion, because after Light the Shortening Fuse, like I said in that reaction, I was kind of like, you know, I was a little bit indifferent to it. I just said I felt like it needed a little bit more. It didn't really have that punch. But lo and behold, after that, like from Light the Shortening Fuse onwards, we had so many bangers up until about, like, I think I kind of zoned out a little bit after They Move Below, because that track properly, like, I know it's a bit dramatic to say hypnotized me, but it really did soothe me and calm me down. Obviously very hyped going into this album, and that kind of like brought me back down to earth. And then you do kind of get woken back up with Kaleidoscope after that. Like, obviously it's a good halfway point to kind of slow the album down, because from the get-go it is very, very intense. There's no break in it at all. And then you get that kind of relaxing feel. But even like a Meshuggah track that's relaxing is still nine and a half minutes of like your head being pounded in by the most heavy guitarist of all time. But I think the fact that it wasn't like that high tempo with Jens over it, just the fact that it was an instrumental, served as like a break midway through the album. And then you get slapped in the face again with Kaleidoscope, and then Black Cathedral serves as kind of like the interlude, I suppose, if you want to call it, like a little 2-minute track thrown in the middle. And then it goes into I Am That Thirst, which wasn't that impressed by. The Faultless, would have to listen to it again, to be honest. Doesn't really ring any bells, but I know Army of the Preposterous slapped as well. Like, a lot of these tracks are ridiculously heavy. I'm pretty sure that was the one that I said was like one of the heaviest Meshuggah tracks I've heard. Again, lads, it's gonna be one of them things. It's a full album. It's a lot to digest. It's over an hour of content to digest in one sitting. But I think my reaction speaks for itself. What more can I really say other than how I reacted? But again, you know, the next time I do a Meshuggah track or a Meshuggah album, I can obviously give my thoughts, and, you know, now I'll be able to hear their older music and compare it to their, you know, more modern music of today. But yeah, like I said, this could be their last album, so it's a big deal. Obviously a fucking very, very influential band in the space. One of the most influential bands in the space, may I add. And I am absolutely buzzing to see them in Dublin. I think I'm going by myself. I know a lot of people have been asking me, like, are they going to see me at the show? And that is a yes. I'll be going by myself unless I can find someone that I actually would go to the show with. So if you guys happen to be going to the show, help your boy out, because I'll be there alone. I'm sure I'll probably see people there, because I know naturally just from seeing the comments there seems to be a lot of people, you know, who watch the videos from Dublin. who are big Meshuggah fans. So let me know in the comments, and because I think I'll be working that day, so I'll probably just be going straight from work. But to be honest, I don't give a fuck if no one comes near me and I stay alone for the night. I'm happy as well, because I've seen videos of them live and it just looks like a different experience. Like the only live metal band I've seen is Slipknot, and it was like in the 3 Arena in Dublin, which is like a lot more commercial than the venue that Meshuggah are playing in. The venue is actually really cool, that Meshuggah are playing in as well. So it's going to be a fun night, lads. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you are going to the Dublin show, or if you're just going to any of the shows on their upcoming tour. And yeah, lads, thank you so much for watching. Much appreciated. Make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you drop a like. It really kind of shows what videos you guys want to see, because I know I did a poll and people weren't like overwhelmed by the albums, but I just feel like the people who love the albums more than people who love the singles, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more when I do an album, the feedback and the comments and the interaction is always huge, and then when I do a single, it's not as good. But yet everyone was voting for singles on the poll where I asked where people preferred album reactions or single reactions. So you know, if you want me to continue doing the album reactions, lads, then really let me know by dropping a like, drop a comment, let me know just any part of the tracks, you know, that I commented on. Just drop your opinion on it, you know, even just timestamp it so I know what you're referring to, because I will go back to the comments and it makes it a lot easier if you're like referring to a particular segment over the hour or so that I've been reacting. Just timestamp it so at least I know where you're referring to me, and then you can reply to my comment and then I can get back to you and we can have a bit of a conversation. But lads, main thing, drop a like in the video, make sure you're subbed, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm signing out. I need to go to bed after that one, man. That was like, my brain after some of those riffs is just fried, but I'd expect nothing less from a Meshuggah album. But yeah, bottom line is they sound absolutely amazing in 2022. Jens is 55 years old. The other band members are probably in around the same age, so fair fucking play. If anyone from the band or anyone from the production is watching, fucking hell, you guys are absolutely incredible. And yeah, I'm signing out, lads. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Cheers.